Travis Kelce just dropped a bombshell that's rocking Chiefs Kingdom, finally breaking his silence on retirement. "I love the game, but I can't do this forever," he confessed, admitting time's catching up after a decade of dominance. Mahomes calls him irreplaceable, Reid jokes he'll outlast him, but with the dynasty in full swing, is this the beginning of the end? Stay tuned, this legend's future hangs in the balance. It's been a week full of whispers, speculation, and pure disbelief around Kansas City. And it all revolves around one man, Travis Kelce. The Chiefs' superstar tight end, the heartbeat of their locker room, and one of the most recognizable faces in the entire NFL has finally broken his silence. And what he just revealed about his future has left the entire Chiefs organization stunned, including Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and pretty much every single fan who's watched this dynasty rise from the ground up. What Kelce said wasn't just emotional, it was shocking. Because for the first time, he's publicly admitted something everyone's been wondering for months. How much longer does Travis Kelce really plan to keep playing football? Now, let's rewind for a second. Kelce's been the definition of consistency and dominance. 8 straight 1,000-yard seasons as a tight end, something no one in NFL history has even come close to doing. He's broken records, lifted trophies, and built chemistry with Mahomes that feels telepathic. But as the Chiefs chase yet another Super Bowl run, you can feel it. There's been a different energy around him lately. He's still smiling, still dancing, still hyping up his teammates. But the interviews, the pressers, and even the podcasts have started to sound different. More reflective, more personal, almost like a man who's thinking beyond the game. So when Kelce sat down this week and finally addressed his future, no one expected the honesty that came pouring out of him. He started off joking, talking about how much his body's been through, saying, "Man, I wake up some days and my knees sound like Rice Krispies." The reporters laughed. The fans laughed. But then his tone changed. He paused, looked down for a moment, and said quietly, "You start to realize you've been doing this for over a decade. And you love it, but it takes everything out of you. Every single year." That single line hit differently. It wasn't a man complaining. It was a man admitting that even legends start to feel time catching up. Behind the scenes, sources say Kelce's been open with his teammates, too. One player reportedly said, "You can tell Trav's thinking about what's next. He's still all in, but he's starting to talk about life after football more than ever before." And that's where the shock came from. Because the Chiefs' locker room, this brotherhood that's built its success around the Mahomes-Kelce connection, suddenly had to face the reality that it might not last forever. Patrick Mahomes was asked about Kelce's comments, and you could see the emotion in his face. He said, "I can't imagine this team without him. He's more than a teammate, he's a brother. Whatever he decides, he's earned it 1,000 times over." But Mahomes also made one thing clear: as long as Kelce's here, they're going to keep chasing rings like it's year one. That's just who they are. Andy Reid's reaction was also telling. Big Red's coached some incredible players in his career, but his bond with Kelce has been something special. When asked about the possibility of Kelce's retirement down the line, Reid smiled and said, "I told him he..." But beneath that humor, there was a sense of truth. Both men know their legacies are tied together. Reid gave Kelce his chance, shaped his career, and turned him into the ultimate mismatch nightmare, and Kelce repaid that faith by becoming one of the greatest offensive weapons this sport has ever seen. Still, no one can ignore the physical and emotional toll this journey has taken. Remember, Kelce has been playing at a championship level for over a decade, through injuries, surgeries, endless playoff runs, and now global fame. Between his New Heights podcast with his brother Jason, his hosting gigs, commercials, charity events, and yes, his high-profile relationship with Taylor Swift, Kelce's life is busier than ever. Some people can juggle that and keep dominating on the field, but even for a guy like him, that balance starts to get harder. That's exactly what Kelce admitted during his talk. He said, "I love the game, it's in my blood, but I also know I can't do this forever. I'm at a point where I just want to enjoy every single snap, every single win, every single locker room celebration." That right there, that's when it became real for everyone listening. You could almost hear the collective gasp from Chiefs fans everywhere. Now, what makes this even more interesting is the timing. The Chiefs are in the middle of another title chase. Mahomes is in his prime. The defense looks elite. The young receivers are finding their rhythm. And yet the team's emotional core, The guy who's been their heartbeat through every comeback, every playoff run, is openly talking about his final chapters. That's not something you hear often from a player still performing at a Hall of Fame level. Teammates have noticed it, too. Rookie wideout Rashee Rice said in an interview, "Trav's always the loudest guy in the room, but lately he's been more in teacher mode. He pulls us aside, talks about mindset, leadership, what it means to wear this jersey. It's like he wants to pass something on." That's the kind of thing veterans do when they know they're preparing the next generation. And that, more than anything, is what's making this moment so emotional. For the fans, this feels like the beginning of an end they don't want to face. Kelce's been there through every major Chiefs moment of the last decade, from the heartbreaks to the confetti showers, from Alex Smith's era to Mahomes' dynasty. His celebrations, his energy, his toughness, it's all become part of Kansas City's DNA. Losing him, even just the thought of it, feels like losing a piece of the franchise itself. But if you know Travis Kelce, you know one thing: he's not going to walk away quietly. He said it himself, "As long as I can run out there and help this team win, I'm going to do it. I owe it to my guys. I owe it to this city." That line brought Chiefs Kingdom back to life. It reminded everyone that no matter what's next, Kelce's heart is still 100% in Kansas City. Even his brother Jason, who retired from the Eagles earlier this year, weighed in on their podcast. Jason said, "I know where Trav's head's at. When I was close to retiring, I felt the same way. You love the game, but you start thinking about your legacy, your health, your family. Trav's doing it the right way, taking it one season at a time." And you could hear the emotion in Travis's voice as he replied, "You hanging it up hit me harder than I expected, bro. It made me think about my own clock ticking." That moment between the two brothers, raw, real, and unscripted, might have been the most honest glimpse yet into what Kelce is really feeling. But here's what's truly wild. Even with all this talk, Kelce is still dominating. He's still torching defenses, still breaking tackles, still finding the end zone. It's almost like the more people talk about retirement, the more he wants to remind everyone he's still got plenty left. And that's part of what makes this story so powerful, because what Kelce is revealing isn't that he's done. It's that he's finally aware of the bigger picture. Behind closed doors, it's said that Mahomes and Kelce have already talked about what comes next. Not in a sad way, but in a respectful one. Mahomes reportedly told him, "You've done everything, man. If you ever decide to step away, I'll still call you my tight end forever." That bond goes deeper than football. They've built something that'll be remembered for generations. A quarterback tight end duo that defined an era. Fans in Kansas City have been reacting non-stop since Kelce's comments dropped. Social media exploded with messages like, "Please don't retire yet," and "We're not ready for this." One fan wrote, "He's more than a player, he's the soul of this team." And honestly, that sums it up perfectly. Inside the locker room, the reaction was just as emotional. A source close to the team said, "Some of the young guys got quiet when they heard it. Trav means everything to them. He's the one who keeps everyone loose, the one who fires you up before a big game." Thinking about him being gone, it hits.